tour guide. I do hope that you and your family had a sensational Christmas and New Year. In our last episode, we deviated from our tour of what registrations do I need to reflect on your business and to set some goals. I certainly hope you wrote down your business and personal goals for 2014. So let's get back on track and continue with part 2 of what registrations do I need. Now we've already covered ABNs and GST, so now let's turn our attention to Pay-As-You-Go Withholdings. So if you're an employer and you're employing staff, you must register for Pay-As-You-Go Withholdings. So that's a system that deals with the withholding of tax from your staff's wages, and of course you must remit that amount to the tax office. Now, when you register for Pay-As-You-Go Withholdings, you'll be classified as either small, medium, or large withholder. So you're small if your total withholdings for the year from all staff is $25,000 or less for the year. So if you're small, you're required to report your figures and pay on a quarterly basis. And you can do that by paper form or electronically. Now, if your GST registered as quarterly as well, that's actually done on the same business activity statement. So it's on the back, you just put your figures there and you pay it together with your GST amount all in one go to the tax office. Now, you're a medium withholder if your total withholdings for the year are between $25,000 and $1 million. If that's the case, you must lodge and pay monthly, and again you can do that by either paper or electronically. Now, you can be monthly for Pay-As-You-Go Withholdings, but quarterly for GST, right? So it can get a bit confusing. Now, if that's the case, you must do 2 monthly ones, and then the last month of the quarter is done on your quarterly business activity statement with your GST. So for instance, you'll have one for January, just with withholdings, one for February, and then March, because it's the last month of the quarter, will be done on the business activity statement together with your GST amounts. Now, you're a large withholder if your total withholdings for the year are more than $1 million. So we're talking big business here, right? If that's the case, you must lodge electronically. That's the only way you can do it, and you must pay to the tax office twice weekly. Now, it's important to remember that your obligations with withholdings are twofold. So firstly, you must report your figures to the tax office, and secondly, you must pay the amount. Now, that sounds really basic, but I see a lot of people when they first go into business do one or the other and not both. So you really got to be careful and make sure that you do both. The last thing I guess we should cover is that there is actually a whole heap of other things that need to go on the activity statement with withholdings if they're applicable to you. Now, for most of you, it really just will be the withholdings and the tax on the wages. But other things that must go on there are if you have voluntary agreements with people, if you have labour hire agreements, if you're dealing with someone and they give you an invoice and they don't quote their ABN to you, you're actually required to withhold an amount from them, and that is done on this statement along with withholdings. And if you pay any dividends or royalties to foreign residents, and there's actually quite a lot more too. So you really must be careful and seek professional advice if you're not sure. That's all we've got time for today, but please join me next time where we will continue on our journey of what registrations do I need. Until then, enjoy your business travels.